Cuts it back 5. Touchdown Breakers.
Yo, what is going on, Breaker Nation? It is your boy Leaux. I'm back up in this thing. We started 1-0. That's pretty much all you could ask for. We beat the Maulers 22-15. Bethel-Thompson threw for over 300 yards, plus the game-winning touchdown to Anthony Jones. Matt Coughlin went 5 of 5 from field goals, including a 51-yarder. He also had to punt a few times and do kickoffs. Special teams player of the week in the USFL, so shout out to him. Dude was balling. Speaking of balling, our defense is crazy good. 165 total yards allowed and only 3 points given up defensively. That's wild. Offensively started a little slow, but we were able to pick it up. And 210 passing yards in the second half for MBT. He was on one. I know it started slow. The completion percentage was kind of rough. 92 yards at the half. I know, I get all that. But, second half, they made the adjustments in the protection, and he had time in the pocket. He was hitting the right reads. Dudes were catching passes. It was all great. It clicked. And the Maulers have a good defense. I know their offense is kind of suspect, but their defense is not suspect. Their defense is good. So for him to be able to get that kind of production against their defense is crazy. But anyway, this week we've got the Gamblers on Saturday at 12:30 on USA Network. Man, y'all better check it out. This team, I told y'all this team was going to be special. Now, I know it started a little slow, but this team, But anyway, I'm going to start that preview. I'm going to give you guys some players to watch, some keys to victory, both offensively and defensively. I'm also going to give you guys my weekly picks across the league, as well as the Breakers pick. So let's get straight into this. So I got a couple players to watch for each team. So I'm going to start with Bethel-Thompson. We're going to throw the ball a lot every game. We threw the ball 41 times. Look, he's going to be a player to watch pretty much every game. But I'm going to say for this one specifically because Josh Love had a really big game against Houston last week. I mean, he was hitting deep shots left and right. And I thought that MBT looked pretty good throwing the ball downfield. He actually hit a couple, deep shots and things like that. So I think we could really exploit that. So he's a guy that you got to watch. You got to watch him every game, but you got to watch him really this week. Another guy I had on there was Johnny Dixon, a.k.a. JD2. So I put Johnny Dixon on here because Joe Walker had over 100 yards receiving for Michigan. And he was able to get some big gains down the field on there against the Houston secondary. And like I just said, we're going to throw the ball a lot, and MBT is going to open it up. So, he's a guy that you should watch because I think he can probably get open a couple times downfield. I put the linebackers for defense, which is Diggs and Fernandez, because – and this will kind of play into when I talk about Bahar and, Houston a little bit, but we're going to have to be able to stop the run because they're going to run the ball. So we're going to need our linebackers to make tackles, to make the right plays, get in the backfield, cause havoc, that stuff. But also we're going to need them to contain Bahar because as much as I know that, the edge rushers are supposed to contain the outside edge and blah, 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 Bahar is fast. And there's going to be times where he's going to get away, and we're going to need Fernandez and Diggs to be there to get him before he breaks away a huge gain, or even just get him for maybe a sack or a 1-yard gain or something. We're going to need the linebackers in this game to be there and be ready at all times for anything that Kenji Bahar does or anything that they do in the run game. So, so I've got our linebackers on there to watch as well. For Houston, it's Kenji Bahar. He can throw. He's actually made some pretty good throws the other day that I was like, man, that's good. That's good stuff. So you got to watch his ability to throw the ball, but also his running ability is really scary because he's fast. He's running back, wide receiver fast. Okay. So and I know we love to send those blitzes, but if he gets through one of those, he could break off a 20, 30 yard gain, and you don't want to get hit with that, right? That's we didn't really have to worry about it as much this week. I thought our defense did pretty well against Troy Williams this week, but I do think that Kenji Bahar is a little bit more elusive than Troy Williams is. So we're going to have to watch that. Also, TJ Pledger had 2 touchdowns rushing for them. He's going to get a lot of their carries. So that's a guy that we're going to have to watch just because, like I said, he scored twice and he's going to get the ball. They're going to run the ball. So we got to watch out for that guy. Another guy, the defensive player that I've got on here is Roheen Bingham. So we're going to throw the ball a lot, right? Like you guys know that. And last week we gave up like 4 sacks in the first quarter. Or first half. I don't think it was first quarter. I think it was just the first half. And I know we didn't give up any in the second half and the protection was a lot better, but still, like we're going to throw the ball a lot. That's a lot of dropbacks. So he played a good game for Houston in week 1, and he also had a sack. So that's just a guy that we're going to have to keep an eye on and watch out for. So offensive keys to victory. Early pass success. So we gutted the Maulers in the second half, but if we would have just played like we did if we played the second half the entire game, excuse me, we would have probably beat them by like 2 or 3 touchdowns. But obviously we didn't. We got to be able to start early, right? Like get some quick passes, right? Just some quick slants, just things like that. Build that rhythm, get a couple first downs, and find that pass success early rather than late in the game. And then also scoring touchdowns. Now, Matt Coughlin had a great performance, 5 field goals, and he made all 5 of them. He made a 51-yarder. Like, he did a lot of really good stuff for us. Shout out to him, man. That was a really good performance by him. But we have to score touchdowns because we got away with beating the Maulers with 1 touchdown. But when you play Birmingham, when you play Philadelphia, possibly Michigan, and even Memphis, like, you're not going to just score 1 offensive touchdown and win those games. So we have to be able to sustain drives and finish drives. It's the same thing as last year. We got to get in the end zone. Now, I think our red zone offense, our like first and goal offense is a little right now. It's a little meh. Now, that's also because Pittsburgh is a really good defense. They're stingy. They're not going to give up stuff easily. But we've got to find ways to get in the end zone, right? So that's what I think is the key to us offensively, So defensively, stop the run, right? Like I said, they're going to run the ball. I don't know they're going to throw the ball too, but they're going to run the ball. So just contain that. Make Bahar throw. He's not a terrible passer, but he's not one of the top passers in the USFL or anything. And I also trust our secondary against pretty much anybody except maybe Case Cookis is the only guy that worries me a little bit. But so make him throw. But another thing is just containing Bahar. And that's, like I said earlier, not letting him get those 20-yard gains or those 10, 15-yard gains. Don't let him pick up a 3rd and 13 with his legs. You can't let stuff like that happen. So stopping the run and containing Kenji Bahar are the keys to victory, in my opinion, for us, defensively at least. So now I'm going to give you guys my game picks. So Birmingham plays Memphis. Look, Birmingham's going to be at home. They're probably going to have a bigger crowd this week because they had a few things going on in the city that kind of like didn't help much with their attendance. They still had a good attendance though. So I think they're going to squeak out a victory against Memphis. They're going to have the home crowd behind them. New Jersey, I saw New Jersey match up against Pittsburgh in person at a scrimmage, and I thought New Jersey just kind of looked better than them, and I thought they matched up well against them. So I think it'll probably be one of those kind of weird scores, a little bit lower scoring game. And then Philadelphia over Michigan. If this game was in Michigan, I would say you might pick Michigan. But this game is being played in Canton. There was some kind of scheduling thing where they couldn't get into Michigan for this week. But nonetheless, I'm going to take Philly in this one. It's early on. Philly's a really good team. They're a proven USFL team. Case Cookus is a proven quarterback. I think Josh Love had a really good game, and he does have potential, but like we'll have to see, right? So, yeah, I think Philly finds a way to win this game, even though I do think this will be one of the higher scoring games that we see, just because these are two pretty good offenses from what we've seen so far. And then as far as our game specifically goes, look, I've got us winning this game 25-16. I think Houston, they scored 13 points last week. I think they'll find a way to score a little bit more. But I think New Orleans is going to score more points as well. I just think as the season goes on, like teams are going to score more points, as offenses get a little bit more familiar with each other and things like that. That's just part of the game. But I think New Orleans will score a couple offensive touchdowns this week instead of 5 field goals. And I think they'll find a way to just kind of it might be a little bit close just because, Houston did give us a good fight last year. And I know it's not last year, but still like they always got some fight in them. And they kept the Michigan game close. I know Michigan won 28 to I think it was 28-13, but that game was 22-13, with like 2 minutes left. So that game was a one possession game late in the game. So Houston's going to keep it close for a while, but I think New Orleans will win this game by 9, which is still one possession, but I think they're going to win this game by 9, and they're going to move to 2-0 and keep building momentum going into that Birmingham game week 3. So that's pretty much all I've got for you guys this week. Yeah. So make sure you guys find a way to watch the game. Support those Breakers, man. This is a special team. This is a really fun team to watch so far. Even though the first half was frustrating, I thought that team in the second half, man, that looked like a for real team. That looked like a playoff team. So until next time, Breaker Nation, it is your boy Leaux. I am signing off. Peace.